Nice to see you. If you draw a picture, it'll probably be of my nose here because you got that angle. I'll try to make it. Hi, everybody. Thanks for coming. I sure appreciate it. I'm just going to plug in here so you can keep talking amongst yourselves for a moment. Oh, well, here comes. Okay, maybe not.
Well, welcome. I'm going to wait for Jay here. He's going to turn me on.
I'm next.
All right. I think, am I on now?
I'm in line for that.
Is this it? Hello? Not yet. We're working on it. I know he's good at this. Oh, I flipped the switch. I'll try it again. We have this ongoing joke because he says I'm too old to do this. I guess he's right. Well, good evening. Welcome. Thank you for being here. My name is Don Fortner, and I'm going to surprise all of you why I'm here tonight. I am now on the board with the Granite City Folk Society. So I'm very excited about what this organization does and where they're going. And by the size of the crowd tonight, I'd say we're on the right track. I think we had Peter here, was it just about a year ago or a year and a half ago? Yeah. And we had a pretty good turnout, but not like this. And I'm always amazed when we bring these incredibly talented people in, and there aren't 300 or 400 people in the audience, because these guys are incredible. These gals are incredible. They come through here and they're bringing their magic and sharing it with you. So I know you appreciate it because you're sitting there. I'm preaching to the choir. But anyway, I need to tell you where the bathrooms are. You go straight down the aisle. There's a little door that says exit. You exit. You turn left. And if you go straight, you're going to run into the ladies' room. You go one more down the hall, and that's the men's room. I know, right? Cell phones. Can everybody turn them off? Does everybody have one of these things? Okay. Turn that off. And is mine off? All right. I'm good. These concerts are made possible by a grant, and I forget. This is terrible. My mind just went blank. Somebody made this possible, but the voters of Minnesota voted this in. The money actually comes from you, and you said yes to it. So we thank you, and it brings these types of programs alive. Thank you, Keith. Thank you, Keith. Gosh, what would I do without him? Keith, where are you? I hear you, but I don't. Oh, there you are. Thanks for saying that. So tonight we have Peter Mayer here. You guys are here, obviously, to hear him. Next month, March 1st, John McCutcheon, another infamous name in folk music. And on April 5th, Mike Dowling will be here. And I'm also going to say a name that's you're going to ooh and ah. The thing is, she's already sold out. We're bringing in Claudia Schmidt on February 16th. So pretty incredible stuff. That took way longer than I wanted. I wanted to tell you a quick story. People ask me, why did you get into music? Well, the reason is, when I was 14 or 15, I was in Citywide Orchestra in Denver, Colorado, and the Denver Public Schools Citywide Orchestra, and they brought in Brian Priestman, who is a big deal at the time, and the conductor of the Denver Symphony. and we played Academic Festival Overture, Brahms. And I was in rehearsal, and I was the timpanist, and I'm playing along with Brian, looked like Leonard Bernstein up there, jumping around and the stick moving in the air. And I looked at all my friends gathered around, and the music was rising, and I just got this huge endorphin rush up the back of my spine. Have you guys ever gotten that when you're moved by a piece of art or a piece of music? Yeah, a few, yeah. Well, the reason I like this guy up here is he gives that to me every song, every time, whether it's live, whether it's recorded. He brought me back into music, into folk music, and I'm not going to say any more than that because I'm wasting his time right now. So let's welcome Peter Mayer.
Well, gee whiz. The pressure's on now, isn't it? Well, thank you so much for the kind words, Don. That's just beautiful and very humbling. And I'm so glad to be here with you all. I still feel like I'm kind of buzzing from the post-COVID world where we can actually do this, It's just, I feel so grateful for anything where we can gather face to face in this world of devices, that we can be together and be in the same space together. I just think it's a beautiful thing. So I'm honored and privileged that you made time to come out tonight. So thanks a lot. Yeah, thank you. Okay, so let's see, Jay. Thanks, Jay, who's running sound back there. I saw the Buddha open up his eyes one Sunday morning, say he's invited to a party for Christ, and he must be going. He heaved himself up with a groan, standing slowly, came down those steps of stone and asked me where to catch the next train to Jerusalem. Oh, 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 oh. In India, he sang with Hindus as they prayed by the Ganges when the dawn came. Near Arabia, he saw Muhammad on the train and asked if he would join him. Passing those teeming towns, they talked for hours, all about the truth and how it's discovered, trading bits of news and stories from these 1,000 years, saying great idea this party for Jesus. Then Muhammad said, hey Buddha, it's great to see ya. Finding the place with with the help of Abraham, waving from the doorway. They greeted faces from 1,000 holy lands, from present day and all ages. Everybody talking, laughing, fiercely debating, saying how desperately the world is changing. Then somebody lit the 2,000 candles, and they all toasted Jesus, born in a stable. And Jesus said, hey, let's not be such strangers. I saw the Buddha open up his eyes one Sunday morning. Thank you. Let's see. Okay. Well, I've been reading. I've been listening to an audiobook. It's not really an audiobook, but it's a series of lectures that I'd really like to recommend to you if you're looking for something like that. It's a guy named David Christian, and he's a historian, and it's called Big History. So his idea is that these days, because of 300 plus years of science and discovery, we can really tell the history of the whole universe. So he used to tell human history, and now he's interested in the big picture, what he calls big history, and it's just awesome. So, you just put it on in the car, and it's awesome. So, one component of big history is, the fact that we know now that human beings, we're related to every other species on the planet. We all come from the same life that started on this planet almost 4 billion years ago, and we know that we're related, all of us, to the trees, to every living thing on earth. This is our story. And I was reading a book years ago about human evolution, and another thing we know now is that human beings, all of us, come from Africa. That's where our species got its own start. And it's relatively recently, in terms of the great big picture, relatively recently that we've moved out of Africa as a species. So the fact that our hands are shaped a certain way, the fact that we can, see, calculate distances, has a lot to do with the fact that we're in the trees and that our eyes are both in the front of our head, and so we'd reach for a branch and we'd be able to grab it. This is amazing stuff, And so anyway, this book said that people sometimes have this, even if they've never been to Africa, East Africa in particular, they sometimes experience this sort of eerie sense of familiarity if they go there for the first time. And even though I've never experienced that, I've never been to Africa, and I could never, now knowing that, I'm tainted forever by the idea. So I'd be convinced that I was feeling it. But point being that that captures my imagination, that somehow our bodies might remember the place. And so here's a song inspired by that idea. And it's called Africa. Say the sights and sounds down in Africa seem like ones you've seen and heard before, even though you arrive for the very first time. You have a sense of returning. They say there is a dream down in Africa, dreamt about 5 million years ago. It's a dream to survive, dream of standing upright, setting out on a new life. So I say to my hands, can you remember Africa? Say to my feet, do you remember Africa? Do you remember? Do you remember Africa? You can hear a song down in Africa, between the eastern mountains and the coast. It's a song that you know, rising up from the bones, and it's telling your story. There is a human heart born in Africa, beating now for eons. It is your own, a tenacious ancient will, quite alive inside you still, and it's dreaming on, it's dreaming on. So I say to my hands, can you remember Africa? Say to my feet, do you remember Africa? Do you remember? Do you remember? So I say to my hand, can you remember Africa? Say to my feet, do you remember Africa? Do you remember
Africa, unakumbuka Africa,
Thank you. Well, it seems like the kind of winter where maybe the birds should have stuck around. But I'm sure they're in warmer places at the moment, and I often am amazed to think about the birds who do migrate back and forth, and how astonishing it is that they know somehow when to leave and where to go and when to come back. This is one of the great miracles of nature, I think. And so here's a song inspired by the migration of birds. You may know that during my shows, I like to invite people to think of tuning as time for meditation. Because I do too much of it, and so this might be a good time to start the meditation. Sometimes I use my electronic tuners, but sometimes they make it worse. So I'm just gonna... Okay, I'm just... I hate to break up your meditation, but I think it's time for the song. Nope. You know, Peter Ostroushko once said that when you play the mandolin, you spend half the time tuning the mandolin and the other half of the time playing an out-of-tune mandolin. That's kind of the way I'm feeling right now. Okay. I've been flying, chasing warm wind, leaving winter behind me, following something inside me, for miles and miles, yet my wings are not tired. They keep beating with a strange kind of fire. And so I go,
farm fields, towns and roads, rolling hills. Oh, and soon I'll be over the open sea. The whole world stretched out below me. For miles and miles, yet my wings are not tired. They keep beating with a strange kind of fire. And I'm not even sure what drove me to go, but on I go. On I go. For miles and miles, yet my wings are still not tired. They keep breeding with a strange kind of fire. And I'm not even sure what told me to go. And so I hope that I know when I arrive. I've been flying. I've been flying.
Thanks. Okay. Sometimes I struggle with temperature management when I do a show, and so I'm going to shed this layer, and but I did bring a vest just in case I get too cold now, and that is the art of layering in Minnesota. Something which my kids always give me crap for, all my layers. So I'm going to see if I can handle just the t-shirt. See how that goes. Okay, let's see. Back to my set list. This is kind of turning here too. Bear with me. Sorry. It's just a lot of... Okay. Well, I got a request for this song, even though it's not really the season, but that's okay. This is a song about pumpkins. And, you know, if you come to my town, Stillwater, Minnesota, we now have something they call the Harvest Festival, and in October. And it's a lot of fun, and it's all about pumpkins. It's all about the heaviest, biggest pumpkin you can grow. So all these crazy, obsessed people come with their pumpkins that are hundreds of pounds. I don't even know how they get them there. You know, how do you get this thing on the truck? I have no idea. But they come with their huge pumpkins, and they weigh them, and then the heaviest one, of course, wins. I'm not sure what they win, but anyway, it's exciting. It's very exciting. And in addition to the contest, they also have something they call the Pumpkin Regatta. And that means that they cut some of these huge pumpkins in half, and they hollow them out, and they paddle them across the river in a race. It's true. So there's the Pumpkin Regatta, and then to top everything off, the kind of the climax of the whole weekend is they lift up with a crane one of these pumpkins way up, several stories into the air, and then I think you can guess what they're going to do next with it. And people gather around, like hundreds of people gather for this. And they drop the pumpkin, and then it explodes on the ground. So anyway, that's what we love doing in Stillwater. I love Halloween, I love carving pumpkins, and I have this little ritual where I like to sort of gather my jack-o'-lanterns together after the trick-or-treaters are gone, and just kind of get to know them a little bit, and have a little commune with the pumpkins, and because they do rot quickly, as you know, once you carve them, they rot quickly. So and they're always different every year. So here's a song I wrote when I was thinking kind of deeply, I think, about the lives of pumpkins, and wondering, gee, if I were a pumpkin and I was in the pumpkin patch in October and somebody explained to me what Halloween was, would I want to participate? Or would I rather just live out my days in peace in the pumpkin patch? I knew I had hit upon a very important existential question. And so here's the song. All right. Farmer John wandered back. When he reached the pumpkin patch, began to speak. He said the weather's getting colder, summer's over and it's almost Halloween. That's the day, the reason you were raised, when everything about your life will change. You will have eyes to see, and for that night you'll be a bright lamp burning in the darkness. Remember that candle shines for only the briefest time in a jack-o'-lantern's heart. Pumpkins held a meeting then. Some were very apprehensive and afraid. Could this really happen to us? What could be the meaning is what they were saying. This is home, it's all we've ever known. Then one bold, outspoken pumpkin spoke. Said, I don't need eyes to see. Sounds like a lie to me. I like it just fine here in John's garden. Remember that candle shines for only the briefest time in a jack-o'-lantern's heart. There is much to ask, to ponder in the pumpkin patch, when imposing old October shows up at last. Then a pumpkin from the farther end, who had been silent up to then, over the commotion said, what would you rather have, my friend? A chance to shine, or
die here on the vine. The better way seems very plain to me. You will have eyes to see, and for that night you'll be a bright lamp burning in the darkness. And maybe that candle shines for only the briefest time in a jack-o'-lantern's heart. Oh, but one goblin smile should make it all well worthwhile. You might even see the starlight. Knowing that time is brief makes it that much more sweet when you have a jack-o'-lantern, jack-o'-lantern's heart. You have a jack-o'-lantern, jack-o'-lantern. La 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 la.
Thank you. Well, it can be heartbreaking, can't it, to read the news these days? And with all the conflicts now happening, and you know, I don't know what to do with it sometimes. You just have a manage. You know, I got to manage the news. I have to sort of take it in relatively small doses, I guess. It seems that we human beings have this part of ourselves that can be tribal and you know, aggressive and violent, and I guess we always have to keep watch and be aware that that's part of us as humans. But so this next song is mostly just therapy, I guess, for me, you know, just to write about peace and hope that we can find a way together in the world as there are more and more of us. And it's a challenge, and things are changing fast, and sometimes we don't want them to change, and so we take it out on our neighbors. But none of us, unfortunately, are going away. So I think this lessons of love and tolerance and neighborliness, man, I think that those are as important as they ever have been for us. So anyway, here's a song. A song about peace. But first, let's meditate. It's either
peace, peace, peace. peace to the mind, peace to the heart. Peace, 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 peace to the lives broken apart. Peace to the torn, the bleary-eyed battle-worn soldier whose soul forlorn, weary of war, weary of war, sing to us peace, 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 peace to the fist, peace to the gun. Peace, 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 peace to the judge in everyone. Peace like the sound of rain finally falling down onto the hard, dry ground. We need you now, we need you now. Peace to the streets, peace to our hands and feet, to our anxious heartbeat. Help us to breathe, sweet bird of peace. Spread your wings over this world and sing of love and understanding. Sing to the west, sing to the east. Peace, 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 peace be to all, and peace be to each, and peace in between, peace to the place where our lives meet.
That's
This is a song about water, actually told from the point of view of the water molecules themselves. We are molecules, 2 H's and 1 O. And in most places we are ice and we are cold. But sometimes in the universe, when we find a place like Earth, where the sun is shining and the lovely breezes blow, we are water rising up to the highest cloud, falling free in the rain come down, flowing over and underground. We are water, drops in the river and the wide ocean, running in all directions, then coming together again. We are mist and we are waves upon the sand. We're the ancient holy place where life began. We are tea and morning showers, home to seahorses and flounders, cleaning shirts, quenching thirst and floating motorboats. We are water, rising up to the highest cloud, falling free in the rain come down, flowing over and underground. We are water, drops in the river and the wide ocean, running in all directions, then coming together again. We are mirrors to the sky, we shine of all the stars at night, sun and moon and clouds as they go by. If you find the time, then here's what you should do. Take your heart down to the shore and be renewed. Climb into your sloop and ride us, leap into us, stand beside us. We will turn your planet world the brightest shade of blue. We are water rising up to the highest cloud, falling free in the rain come down, flowing over and underground. We are water drops in the river and the wide ocean, running in all directions, then coming together again. We are water rising up to the highest cloud, falling free in the rain come down, flowing over and underground. We are water drops in the river and the wide ocean, running in all directions, then coming together again. One more time. We are water rising up to the highest cloud, falling free in the rain come down, flowing over and underground. We are water drops in the river and the wide ocean, running in all directions, then coming together again, coming together again, coming together again, coming together again.
Thank you. Well, I'd like to play for you a new song. It did snow this year. I don't know if you remember that, but gosh, I think it was late November maybe when there were some flurries, and I know, it's about all it was. But enchanting, and I grew up in Minnesota, and it's just such a part of your life, your relationship with snow, whether you like it or not. It's a big part of your life, but I have always, been mesmerized by snow, especially those first couple snowfalls when you're sort of re-enchanted by snow after slogging through it last season, and so I think it will still snow. I'm not sure. But meanwhile, here's a song for you anyway. Let's see. I can tell you while I'm tuning here that some of these songs, like the last couple songs I've played, these days I'm posting songs on the internet one at a time as I'm able to record them. So I haven't released an album for a few years, but a lot of these songs are available. Some of them that I'm going to play are not yet available. That's including this one, but some of the songs are. If you go to my website, which is petermayer.net, you can find the songs under the music heading. So just to let you know. Okay. Whoops. Accidentally hitting buttons. Almost ready. I'm just going to do this, so bear with me. Sorry. I don't know, where do you put that? Where do you put that? My daughters, they just chuck it. Then when you clean their room, there they are, all the Kleenexes. It's a good life. All right, I'm going to turn.
When I rise, I raise the blinds and see before my eyes swirling, chasing snowflakes, tracing circles in the sky. And before I know, my soul's flying out through the window. Light as a snow crystal, I go into the cold morning air. Bright white, shining and shimmering of daylight, making my way to a great height and floating down slowly from there. The winter day shakes me awake and lifts me like a prayer. Tugs my sleeve, says, can you see the light that's everywhere? And in my daydream, I'm skipping out on the bright breeze, singing out loud in the pine trees, spinning around in the clouds, leaping, sweeping right over the lamp posts, dancing alongside the fence rows and skittering over the ground. And the snow drifts cover the world like forgiveness, and put a new lightness within this cynical old heart of mine. And the magic spell of the glistening snow grows till I am a child at the window, quietly watching it fly. Quietly watching it fly. When I rise, I raise the blinds and see before my eyes swirling, chasing snowflakes, tracing circles in the sky.
Thank you. Okay. Well, I have two daughters, and they're 12 and 16 years old now. And when they were much younger and littler, somebody told me that they shared with me something they had heard about raising kids, that it's like having your heart walk around on the outside of your body. And I thought that was such a poignant way of thinking of it. And so I jotted down a few lyrics to a song that was inspired by that idea, and then I never finished it back then because I was just too tired. But eventually I
Okay, I'm having a little glitch here. Eventually, I did finish the song, and I'm trying to get the lyrics to come up here. There it is. And but first, how about a little meditation? Okay, I think that's good. Jay, you're going to probably yell at me, but could I maybe have just a little more guitar in the room? I've got it's cranked up quite a bit on my end. Thank you. Yeah.
Hey, here's one thing that you could do. Take out the heart inside of you. Give it arms and legs, the sweetest face, and watch your heart crawl around. Try to stand up and then fall down while you are looking on, protective and afraid. And when your little heart turns 5, give it a hug and kiss goodbye, and watch it walk alone into a great big school. Backpack nearly too big to carry, big kids like giants everywhere, and sit there helplessly as tears well up in you. Seems like a sensible thing to do. By then you may have some regrets that you let your heart out of your chest. But once you take it out, it never fits back in, because your heart grows and grows and learns things you don't even know. It spends less time with you to spend more time with friends. And even worse, they say you should prepare your heart to leave for good. Teach it how to live and make it on its own, until there finally comes a day when your heart moves away. You can only hear it on the telephone. May sound crazy, but it's so. Who would ever think it's true? Your heart does not belong to you. You can hold it close, try to keep it safe. Sing your heart a lullaby, cheer it on, and when it's time, send it on its way. Ever think it's true? Your heart does not belong to you. You can hold it close, try to keep it safe. Sing your heart a lullaby, cheer it on, and when it's time, send it on its way. Here's one thing that you could do. Take out the heart inside of you. Give it arms and legs, the sweetest face. Then watch your heart crawl around. Try to stand up and then fall down. See it walking now. See it smile and wave.
I want you to know that I feel fine, but I do have, apparently, a runny nose. And so, maybe afterward when we're visiting, we can just do the elbow bump or something like that, just in case. All right. Okay. Let me play you a song. This song was a commission. Sometimes I do commissions, and so this was a commission song for a friend of mine who I greatly admire. He's done a lot of great work in the world, and he has there's a quote that, and forgive me, if you were at my last show here, I can't remember if I did it. I lost my set list for that. I usually keep my set lists, so forgive me if this is a repeat. But if you didn't come to that show, then it's all new. It's all new to you. But I wanted to read you this quote because I think it's a great little quote, and then I'll sing you this song. So this is a quote by George Bernard Shaw. And it goes like this: "This is the true joy in life, the being used up for a purpose recognized by yourself as a mighty one, being a force of nature instead of a feverish, selfish little clod of ailments and grievances. Complaining that the world will not devote itself to making you happy. I am of the opinion that my life belongs to the community, and as long as I live, it is my privilege to do for it whatever I can. I want to be thoroughly used up when I die, for the harder I work, the more I live. Life is not a brief candle to me. It is a sort of splendid torch which I have got hold of for a moment, and I want to make it burn as brightly as possible before handing it on to future generations." Isn't that nice? All right.
Life's not a note long. Life is the whole song that played long before me and will after I'm gone. Life is no match flame. Life is a great blaze, the fire animating you and me. So while I live my life, I'll carry that torchlight and hold it way up high through every dark night. I will take my turn, keeping that flame burning, and seeing it deliver to the next in line. This is my true joy, to use my one voice, and with all of life join in that sacred song. With every step sing, whenever I can bring another another along. And from that firelight, I'll take a bright spark to give a passerby with a hopeless heart. A bright spark for courage, for love and for service, to kindle a purpose that the heart can find. This is my true joy, to use my one voice, with all of life join in that sacred song. With every step sing, whenever I can bring another along. And by the time I'm done, I want to be used up, just a vibration in that sacred song. And say that I lived and gave what I could give, keeping it strong. I want to live life like it's a torchlight and hold it way up high through every dark night. I want to take my turn, keeping that flame burning, seeing it delivered to the next in line. Seeing it delivered to the next in line.
Thank you. I'd like to ask you all, is there a song that you'd like to hear? Down in the Ground. No kidding. Well, thank you. Oh, yeah, and another one? Holy Now. Okay, I'll do those two. Thanks for, I'm so excited about this first song because I didn't know anybody knew that song. 'Cause I just posted it to the web a little bit ago, so thank you for that request. Okay, so I'll play those two songs, and gotta find the lyrics here. This Down in the Ground was an interesting song for me, experienced right. This is another commission, and it was somebody who is a soil scientist hired me to write a song about soil. Yeah, so it was very interesting, and he told me he's a professor, you know, teaches about soil chemistry and what happens down there. And of course, like anything in nature, if you really start to study it, it is miraculous and mysterious and awesome. And so, yeah, this is where, in effect, where we come from. And we know that, gee, life invented photosynthesis many, many years ago. In the oceans, they say now that life invented, if you will, found a way to make food out of sunlight. And this was a revolutionary thing. And if it weren't for that, none of us would be here. It's one of the many things we rely on is photosynthesis, because that's where we get our food, right? And so, anyway, here it is. Here's the song, and I hope you enjoy it. I tried to... What I did is I tried to take the story of soil and the history of soil and cram it into a 3.5-minute song. So, yeah, I'm sure that all the information is here that you ever want to learn about soil.
just you just have to listen closely, okay? Made of only rock were the fields of long ago, but ice and wind and water wore away the stone. Life journeyed out from the sea to the land. The rock turned to clay and to silt and to sand, and the algae and bacteria lived their earthly lives and laid their bodies back into the ground when they died. The layers of the living made the layers of the loam, and by 10,000 things made a home in the ground. Down in the ground, down in the ground, down in the ground. All the many living organisms hidden there mingled with the minerals in the water and the air, and the million generations came and disappeared, building up the land for 100 million years. So it was a tiny seed would fall upon the earth, and it would come alive and send a root into the dirt, reach up with a leaf to catch the burning sun, live by the light and the power that comes from the ground. Down in the ground, down in the ground, down in the ground. Up from the soil, up from the mud, up from the life of the ground do we come, from miraculous stone, mysterious clay, the magical sun and the mystical rain, from the numberless lives that have gone before, who died and rise up in us once more. And that's how the sacred circle goes around. Down in the ground, down in the ground, down in the ground, down in the ground. We are like the blades of grass, we are like the trees coming from the living soil under you and me, from the bounty of the harvest, the fertile garden rose, the dust of our ancestors, that is how we grow. Though it may appear that we are leading separate lives, underneath the ground all our many roots combine. In the land that is our body and earth that is our bones, we are all the children of the universe below. Up from the soil, up from the mud, up from the life of the ground do we come, from miraculous stone, mysterious clay, the magical sun and the mystical rain. Numberless lives have gone before, who died and rise up in us once more. And that's how the sacred circle goes around. Oh, that's how the sacred circle goes around. Down in the ground, down in the ground, down in the ground, down in the ground.
Thank you. Thank you for that. I think that for me in my own life, that kind of a thing where you take a little time to try and learn about, wow, all of the living organisms and all of the world of activity in the soil, just as one example of life on Earth. It is just mysterious and truly is miraculous, isn't it? And so I grew up Catholic, and I remember that feeling of handling sacred objects when I was
taught how to be an altar server. And you're supposed to handle them very carefully, and you're kind of in awe of the fact that somehow there's a divine presence here. This is a sacred thing. And I always held on to that feeling when I was carrying this sacred object and thinking that God is somehow present in a special way here. And what a privilege, you know, to be carrying this this object. And that feeling for me, in my better moments anyway, when I'm thinking about the ground, for example, picking up a handful of earth, that's that feeling, the same feeling. This is amazing. It's this very special handful of earth, and this is where I come from, that kind of a thing. And so that feeling of the sacred that I grew up with has stayed with me, and I kind of think about, again, in my better moments, you know, life can be wearisome and difficult for many people, and so we don't always have the luxury to contemplate our existence. But in the times when I've managed to have a few moments to think about the earth or whatever, it feels amazing to me. And so that's kind of where this next song comes from, inspired by growing up Catholic, but feeling, oh my God, everything is indeed holy. Nowadays, that's the way it feels.
When I was a boy, each week, on Sunday we would go to church and pay attention to the priest. He would read the holy word, consecrate the holy bread, and everyone would kneel and bow. Today the only difference is everything is holy now. Everything is holy now. And when I was in Sunday school, we would learn about the time Moses split the sea in two. Jesus made the water wine. And I remember feeling sad. Miracles don't happen still. But now I can't keep track, 'cause everything's a miracle. Everything's a miracle. Wine from water is not so small, but an even better magic trick is that anything is here at all. So the challenging thing becomes not to look for miracles, but finding where there isn't one. When holy water was rare at best, it barely wet my fingertips. But now I have to hold my breath like I'm swimming in a sea of it. Used to be a world half there, heaven's second-rate hand-me-down, but I walk it with a reverent air, 'cause everything is holy now. Everything is holy now. Read a questioning child's face, say it's not a testament, that'd be very hard to say. See another new morning come, say it's not a sacrament, tell you that it can't be done. This morning outside I stood, saw a little red winged bird shining like a burning bush, singing like a scripture verse. It made me want to bow my head. I remember when church let out, how things have changed since then. Everything is holy now. Used to be a world half there, heaven second rate, hand me down. But I walk it with a reverent air, 'cause everything is holy now. Thank you. Thanks so much for those. Okay. Well, what I'd like to do, I've kind of grown fond of a way I like to close my shows, is that I like to do the last song, and after that, I like to do the encore. Just go right into the encore. Well, in that way, I retain control. But also it kind of, I don't know, it's a weird ritual. And in the places I play, almost always there's not a backstage. So, you just kind of either sit here or you have to go out the back, and sometimes the back door is actually an entrance to the outdoors. And I've actually gone out the back door before, because some venues, weird folk venues, they have outside doors like right in the back of the stage, so then you have to go outside. It's just, so anyway, I thought, why not just stay up here and then, dispense with all that stuff. And so this will be my last song. And so because it's my last song, I'd like to say thanks for coming, everybody. I'm so grateful for the opportunity to play for you all and with you, and thanks for the requests. And I want to let you know that I'll be around afterwards. I'm happy to say my nose has apparently stopped running now, but we could still do the elbow bump or whatever if you want to visit for a while. And I do, thanks to Paul and company, have a table back there with a few CDs on it. I don't know if you remember what those are, really, but I do have CDs, and if you're not a CD person, but you want to check out my music more, you can go to my website, which is, as I mentioned, petermayer.net. There is another Peter Mayer at .com, and this is confusing for people. So petermayer.net, and you can sign up on my mailing list there if you like. I send out emails once a month saying where am I playing and what's the next song that's been released for download or whatever. And so, yeah, you can do that. Maybe I'll save my thanks for before my encore, since I've said enough, I think. So Thich Nhat Hanh is a great Buddhist teacher who has passed away now, but he has lots of books about mindfulness. And when I think about reading the news, one thing that helps me is to step back from it and see the beauty that's right in front of me. See the beauty of the moment. Try to be present to all the goodness
that is in my life. And this is sometimes hard. It's easy for us to race forward, worry about the future, fret about the past. But mindfulness, which Thich Nhat Hanh is always talking about, is about trying hard to be here and now, because that's, of course, the only place we ever live our lives. It happens here and now. And I love that. It's really helped me. So he has one of his many sayings in his books is, there is no way to happiness. Happiness is the way. Happiness is the way. And he talks about it's important to be happy, not just for your own sake, but for the sake of those around you. And so happiness ought not be a privilege, but a practice, that you can find happiness by paying attention to the moment. And so here's a little meditation called Happiness. Hey, human being, where are you going? Is there any way of slowing down your restless pace? Since you got legs, you have been racing, running from something or chasing some demon away. And so every day's the same old thing. When the bells of morning ring and you think that your life feels like you're riding on a train, with happiness a destination that you may only reach one day. But there is no way to happiness. Happiness is the way. So breathe. There's no place you need to run to. Every place is there inside you. Everywhere you long to be. And joy whenever you may know it, happens only in this moment, in this very cup of tea. So here and now is where you disembark, you arrive and not depart, where you start to stop and feel you're not just riding on a train, with happiness a destination that you may only reach one day, because there is no way to happiness. Happiness is the way. So here and now is where you disembark, where you arrive and not depart, where you start to stop and feel you're not just riding on a train, with happiness a destination that you may only reach one day, because there is no way to happiness. Happiness is
the way. Hey, 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 human being, where are you going? Is there any way of slowing down your restless pace?
Thank you. All right. Well, thank you. Thank you. Oh, thank you so much. It's just, thank you. Thank you. Wow. Thank you so much. I'm completely unprepared. I know. What a surprise. Thank you. Well, thanks everybody again for taking the time to come out tonight. It's just, the older I get, the more I just cherish being able to do this with you all. So I'm so grateful for the opportunity. I want to say thanks to Paul for inviting me back here to Granite City Folk, and thank you, Jay, for running the wonderful sound back there. Thank you. Thank you, Don, for your intro and for all the good work that all of you all do with Granite City Folk. It's just a labor of love bringing music into the community, and so thanks to all of you, and to this church community for lending this space for our show tonight. It's what a beautiful church this is. So I wish you all the best of the rest of your winter and into the spring. And I'll play one more song for you, and then I will be, as I mentioned, available afterwards if you want to connect, if you have any questions or just want to chat. I'd love to do that. So very good. So I thought maybe this song, one thing that I always enjoy doing, but that we didn't do tonight, is sing together. And so if you're up for that, I would love to do that. So I think that, and kind of the spirit of this song is a little bit, what I was talking about earlier about being vigilant as human beings, because we have this part of us that wants to create us and them kind of a scenario, but to try to always be, even when it's difficult, welcoming and be just welcoming, and try to draw a greater circle around us of welcome. I think that it's not always easy, but it's I think it's the best way to live when we can do that. And so here's a song that if you're up for it, I'd love for us all to sing on the chorus, which it goes like this. Let everybody in, everybody in, everybody into the circle, circle. Everybody, 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 everybody into the circle, circle. Let's try it again. Let everybody in, everybody in,
Everybody into the circle, circle. Everybody, 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 everybody into the circle, circle. That's it. So when that chorus comes around, please, let's sing together on that. Jesus spoke, entreating them to live together in a great circle of love. And when his followers asked him then who should be included, Jesus said, let everybody in, everybody in, everybody into the circle, circle. Everybody, 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 everybody into the circle, circle. Oligarchs, tyrants try to keep some in, everyone else outside, till revolution sweeps across the land and the people all stand. The common folk cry, let everybody, everybody in, everybody into the circle, circle. Everybody, 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 everybody into the circle, circle. Sometimes a circle is a class or creed. Sometimes a circle is made of only men. Until Susan B. Anthony says, what about me? Let me in, let everybody in. Everybody, oh everybody in. Circle, circle. Everybody, 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 everybody in. The circle, circle. Sometimes a circle is a privileged thing, excluding people for the color of their skin. Till the voice of Martin Luther King says, let freedom ring, let them in, let everybody. Everybody, 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 everybody in the circle, circle. Gay and straight, rich and poor, whole and broken, open up that door. The more we are, the greater we become. After all, we all are one. Bring in the people, but don't stop there. Bring in the fish in the sea, the birds in the air. Bring in the rivers wide, mountains tall. We go together, or not at all. Let everybody in, everybody in, everybody into the circle, circle. Everybody, 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 everybody into the circle, circle. Everybody, everybody, everybody into the circle, circle. Everybody, 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 everybody in the circle, circle. Thanks, everybody. Thank you. Thanks for coming.